first principle is awareness. Awareness is like opening your eyes for the very first time after being asleep for years. Most people move through life without ever truly seeing. They eat, but they do not taste. They walk, but they do not notice the ground beneath their feet. They talk, but they do not listen. They are trapped in endless loops of thoughts, worrying about what has already happened or fearing what has not yet come. But life does not exist in yesterday or tomorrow. Life is happening right here and right now. When you are not aware, you miss it. You miss the beauty, you miss the lesson, and you miss the opportunity to grow. Awareness means observing yourself without judgment. It means watching your thoughts like clouds passing in the sky. You do not try to chase them. You do not try to fight them. You simply notice them. Maybe you realize how often your mind falls into anger or how often fear makes your decisions. In that moment, you see clearly that it is not the world holding you back, but your own mind. This realization is powerful because once you can see, you are no longer blind. The man who is blind to his patterns repeats them forever, but the one who becomes aware of them begins to break free. Awareness is also the root of discipline. If you are not aware, you will never notice when you are slipping into distraction or weakness. You will not notice when you are lying to yourself or making excuses. But when awareness is present, you catch yourself. You see that your hand reaches for the phone when you promised yourself to work. You see that your mind searches for comfort when you promised yourself growth. And in that exact moment of seeing, you are given a choice. That is the power of awareness. It is not about controlling everything. It is about seeing clearly enough to choose differently. To train awareness, you must slow down and return to yourself. Sit in silence. Breathe deeply. Pay attention to the rise and fall of your chest, the sound of your heartbeat, the sensation of the ground beneath you. At first, your mind will resist. It will shout, it will wander. It will tell you this is boring. But the more you practice, the more you sharpen your inner vision. And when your awareness becomes sharp, you no longer live unconsciously. You become awake in every step, awake in every word, awake in every choice. Then life itself becomes your training ground. Awareness is not just the first principle. It is the foundation upon which every other principle rests. Without it, you are asleep while living. With it, you are truly alive. The second principle is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between who you are today and who you want to become tomorrow. Without discipline, every dream remains only a dream because desire alone does not carry you across the distance. Many people wait for motivation. They wait for the perfect moment or the perfect mood before they act. But motivation is like the wind. It comes and it goes. If you rely on it, you will move sometimes, but often you will remain still. Discipline is different. Discipline is the steady ground beneath your feet that does not change with the weather. It is the decision to act not because you feel like it, but because you know it is necessary. The Shaolins say that training begins the moment you want to stop. That is where discipline begins as well, when your mind resists, yet you choose to continue. Discipline is also the art of self-mastery. Think about how often your own desires pull you in different directions. You want comfort, but you also want growth. You want rest, but you also want achievement. The undisciplined person is pulled back and forth by these opposing forces like a leaf blown in the wind. But the disciplined person learns to hold steady. He understands that saying yes to every comfort is the same as saying no to his future. He understands that success demands a price and discipline is how you pay it. This is why true freedom comes not from doing whatever you want, but from training yourself to do what must be done. The one who cannot control himself is never free, but the one who has discipline walks with unshakable strength. Discipline is not punishment. Many misunderstand it as something harsh, something heavy, something that steals joy. In reality, discipline is a form of love. It is you choosing to love your future self enough to make sacrifices today. It is you choosing to put aside distractions so that you can walk with clarity tomorrow. Imagine planting a seed. If you water it daily, if you protect it from weeds, if you give it time to grow, then one day you will sit in the shade of a tree. That is discipline. Every small daily action that seems insignificant is in fact preparing the foundation for something greater. Without this steady care, the seed never grows. Without discipline, dreams never become reality. To build discipline, you must train like the Shaolin monks do. Begin with small steps, but commit fully. Wake up at the time you promised yourself, not when you feel like it. Complete the task you began, not when it is easy, but especially when it becomes difficult. Do not let your body and mind dictate your life like an untamed animal. Train them as you would train a horse, steady and firm until they listen. Over time, discipline becomes natural. What once felt heavy becomes light because you no longer debate with yourself, you simply act. That is when you realize discipline is not a burden, it is a path. It carries you where motivation cannot. It carries you beyond excuses, beyond laziness, and beyond weakness. It carries you to mastery. The third principle is consistency. Anyone can begin with excitement, but only a few have the patience to continue when the excitement fades. At the beginning of any journey, energy is high. You start running fast with confidence. But then the path becomes longer than expected, the results slower than you hoped, and suddenly the fire inside begins to weaken. This is the point where most people give up, not because they are incapable, but because they expect results too quickly. Consistency is the art of showing up again and again, regardless of how you feel, regardless of how small the progress seems. It is choosing to plant a seed every day, even when the soil looks dry, because you know that in time life will emerge. The Shaolin master says water does not cut the stone in one strike. It is the endless drops falling day after day that carve mountains. Consistency is this quiet, unstoppable force. Consistency also teaches humility. When you practice something day after day, you realize that mastery is not about sudden greatness. It is about small improvements that accumulate over years. The martial artist who trains daily does not look different in 1 week, but after 1 year, after 10 years, his body, his mind, and his spirit are transformed beyond recognition. It is the same with every skill, every goal, every dream. You cannot expect to climb a mountain in a single leap, but if you take one step each day, you will eventually stand on the peak. The path of consistency is slow, but it is certain. Those who rush quickly often burn out and disappear. But those who remain steady eventually outlast everyone else. Consistency also requires faith. You must believe in the process, even when you do not see the outcome. Think about the farmer who plants in spring. For months he waters, he cares, he works, but sees nothing but soil. If he stops halfway, the harvest never comes. The same is true for your goals. Sometimes you will put in effort day after day and feel like nothing is changing. But change is happening beneath the surface where your eyes cannot yet see. The mind becomes stronger, the habits become natural, the results begin to grow quietly until suddenly, one day everything shifts. Without faith, you will quit too soon. With faith, you continue, and eventually the invisible becomes visible. To live with consistency, you must learn to honor small steps. Do not underestimate the power of one page read each day, one push-up done each morning, one kind act practiced regularly. Over time, these small steps build into unshakable strength. The Shaolin monks do not train for 1 hour and stop. They train daily for years until their movements become part of their very being. This is what consistency creates. Your actions become who you are. Your habits become your nature. Success then is no longer something you chase. It is something you embody. The world does not reward those who start the fastest. It rewards those who never stop walking. This is the principle of consistency. The fourth principle is patience. In our modern world, everything is designed to be fast. We want quick food, quick money, quick recognition. We press a button and expect life to respond instantly. But the truth is nothing of real value can be rushed. The tree does not grow overnight. The seasons do not change in one day. The body does not become strong with a single exercise. When you lack patience, you destroy your own progress because you abandon the journey halfway. Patience means allowing things to unfold in their natural time without forcing, without rushing, without growing angry at the pace. Imagine pouring tea into a cup. If you tilt the pot too fast, you spill and lose everything. But if you pour steadily, the cup fills perfectly. Life is the same. When you practice patience, you align yourself with the rhythm of growth instead of fighting against it. Patience is also a form of strength. Many people mistake it for weakness or passivity, but patience is the ability to remain steady when others have already broken down. When you are patient, you hold your focus through frustration. You endure discomfort without quitting. You wait without losing hope. The impatient person shouts, complains, and gives up because results did not come quickly enough. But the patient person continues walking silently. His silence is not emptiness, it is power. The Shaolin say the strongest tree is not the one that grows the fastest, but the one that takes root deeply and waits through storms until it becomes unshakable. To have patience is to trust that storms will pass and that your roots will hold firm. Patience is also the key to mastering yourself. Every skill you try to learn will first frustrate you. Your hands will fail, your mind will doubt, your progress will appear invisible. Without patience, you walk away and remain forever at the beginning. With patience, you stay and keep practicing until failure turns into ability and doubt turns into confidence. Think of the martial student repeating the same movement 1,000 times. To the outside world, it may look boring, but within that repetition lies transformation. His muscles learn, his reflexes sharpen, his spirit strengthens. None of this would be possible without patience. The truth is, mastery is hidden in the very moments when you feel like quitting. If you endure those moments, you step into a new level of growth. To cultivate patience, you must change the way you see time. Instead of asking how fast can I get there, ask how deeply can I grow while walking the path. Instead of asking why is it not happening yet, ask what lesson am I learning while I wait. Patience teaches you that the journey itself is the destination. Each moment of waiting, each delay, each obstacle is shaping you from within. If life gave you everything instantly, you would never develop strength, you would never learn wisdom, you would never discover resilience. By slowing you down, life is preparing you for something greater. Do not curse the waiting, do not despise the delays. Sit with them, breathe with them, and let them teach you. For the one who has patience, nothing is truly lost, because every moment is a step forward. The fifth principle is letting go. Most people believe that holding on makes them strong, but in reality, it is often the very act of holding on that makes them weak. We cling to pain because we think it defines us. We hold on to anger because it gives us a false sense of power. We grasp at memories, both good and bad, because we fear emptiness if we release them. Yet all this holding only weighs us down. Imagine trying to climb a mountain while carrying a heavy bag filled with stones. Every step becomes harder, not because the path is impossible, but because of the weight you refuse to drop. Life is the same. The longer you carry resentment, regret, and fear, the more tired you become. Letting go does not mean losing. It means finally freeing yourself so you can move forward without chains. Letting go is also the art of acceptance. To let go is to accept that not everything is meant to stay. People will come and go. Situations will rise and fall. Success and failure will both appear, and both will pass. When you resist this truth, you suffer because you try to fight against the flow of life. But when you accept it, you find peace. It is like standing in a river. If you cling to the rocks, you exhaust yourself against the current. If you let go, you flow with the water and discover that the river carries you naturally. Acceptance does not mean weakness. It means choosing not to waste your energy on what cannot be changed. It means saving your strength for the things you can build. Letting go also applies to the self. We hold on to identities, labels, and stories about who we think we are. I am not good enough. I always fail. I am not strong. These stories may not be true, yet we hold them tightly until they become prisons. To let go is to release even these false identities. It is to realize you are not your past, you are not your mistakes, you are not your fears. You are something greater, something still unfolding. A butterfly cannot fly if it clings to the shell of its cocoon. In the same way, you cannot grow into who you are meant to be if you keep clinging to who you used to be. Freedom begins the moment you let go of the old self and allow the new self to emerge. To practice letting go, you must first notice what you are holding. Sit quietly and observe what memories still cause pain when they appear in your mind. What relationships still weigh on your heart even though they have ended. What beliefs still limit your potential? Once you see them, acknowledge them with honesty, and then release them with compassion. Sometimes this means forgiving someone who never apologized. Sometimes it means forgiving yourself for mistakes you cannot undo. Sometimes it simply means choosing to stop carrying what is no longer useful. Letting go is not a one-time act, it is a daily practice. Each day life will hand you new things to carry. Each day you must choose what to hold and what to release. The more you let go, the lighter you become. And the lighter you become, the higher you can rise. The sixth principle is adaptability. Life never unfolds exactly the way we imagine it. You may plan with precision, you may prepare carefully, you may even believe you have control. But then the unexpected arrives. A door you counted on closes. A relationship changes. An obstacle rises where the road once seemed clear. Many people become paralyzed in these moments because they cling too tightly to their expectations. They cry out, "This should not have happened." They resist reality, and in doing so they create their own suffering. Adaptability is the ability to release that resistance and to flow with what life presents. It is like water that does not argue with the shape of the cup. Water takes the form that is given, yet it never loses its essence. When you learn adaptability, you discover that change does not destroy you. It reshapes you. Adaptability is not weakness, it is a higher form of strength. The rigid tree breaks when the storm comes, but the flexible bamboo bends and survives. In the same way, the rigid mind that insists everything must go according to its plan will eventually collapse when life challenges it. But the adaptable mind remains steady because it does not need control, it only needs presence. This is why adaptability is a sign of inner power. The one who adapts is not defeated by challenges. He learns, he shifts, he continues. Every obstacle becomes a teacher, every failure becomes feedback, every ending becomes the beginning of something new. Adaptability transforms life from a battlefield into a training ground. Adaptability also brings freedom. When you are adaptable, you are no longer a prisoner of circumstances. You no longer need life to be perfect before you act. You no longer need people to behave exactly as you wish before you find peace. Instead, you learn to find balance within any situation. You discover new paths when the old ones close. You see new opportunities hidden within obstacles. This freedom makes you fearless because you know no matter what happens, you will find a way forward. Others may collapse when life shifts suddenly, but you remain calm like the Shaolin monk who walks through fire without panic because he trusts his training. To be adaptable is to be unshakable. To cultivate adaptability, you must train yourself to let go of rigid expectations. Begin with small things. If the weather changes, do not complain, simply adjust your actions. If plans shift, do not grow angry, simply find another way. In training, when your body feels weak, adapt by adjusting your method instead of quitting. Over time, these small practices prepare you for larger storms. When true challenges arrive, you will already know how to bend without breaking. Life is movement, it never stands still. Those who resist this truth suffer endlessly. Those who adapt discover harmony. Remember, it is not the strongest who survive, nor the most intelligent, but those who can adapt. Make adaptability your practice, and life will no longer be something that happens to you. It will be something you dance with.